my friend, and I've helped him a lot in his journey to ask him. He's my very good friend. So he's somebody that has run with this vision for long. And I'm sure he will encourage you. Because this somebody, his parents are relatively rich, told him to go abroad, do a master's, probably do a PhD. But because of these spices, he said no. He refused to go. At a point in time, he actually became like a rebel in his family. Has he shared the story with you? Okay, I'm sure. Ask him. So, at a point in time, he would come to Zaria when I was in my master's. He would come to Zaria, he would run away from Yoga. Come to Zaria, stay in my place. And then because his parents, the pressure was so much, the family saw him as you're trying to lead the life of failure, of a failure, by not using opportunities. Father was in CDN, father was seeing money. So go abroad now, go and do your master's, go and do your PhD. You can even stay abroad, but you have this vision. And today the vision is speaking. Because right now he has a factory in Gola. So and they're doing spices. And to a large extent, life is becoming colorful for him. That's because he's stuck with a vision. That's also because he surrounded himself with people who will encourage him. Because one of the most important factors for success is what is surrounding you physically and virtually. Because if you find out that whenever you go online, you are attracted to all these relationship, means that's all you want to read. Nothing is bad about relationship, but relationship will not pay your bills. I hope you understand that. Fix the area that will help your life first. First is God. Secondly, let me not lie to you. First is God. Secondly is finances. Whether you like it or not, if you mix up your equation and you say money will not buy you happiness, if you get into that trap of lying to yourself, only you will face the consequences of lying to yourself. I tell myself, money may not buy happiness, but I would rather be sad in a mansion sipping wine than be sad in a hut being beaten by mosquitoes. Do you understand? Yeah, so choose where you would rather be sad. That's if I won't be happy, because also happiness is a choice. It's an intentional thing. Like you see me, I can be happy with $1 million, I can be happy with 10 naira. None of it defines me. Do you understand? Someone says he is richest whose luxuries are the cheapest. Do you understand that statement? The person whose luxuries are the cheapest is the richest person. Why? Because he doesn't need so much to be happy. Do you understand? So for me, I can drink garri and be happy, but I can also be comfortable sipping a glass of wine that costs $1,000 and still be comfortable. I won't be caught in that trap of saying this wine costs 500,000 naira and it looks as though I'm wasting anything. No, be comfortable with wealth to attract it. If you're not comfortable, you won't attract it. If you think anything is waste, remember the illustration Jesus gave about the woman pouring oil. You see, your default state is wealth. But because of our experiences, we have so been through poverty that we have come to believe that when we spend money on something, it's a waste because we can get by with this, because we can get by with that. I had a car and I didn't like the way the gear was doing. I called the mechanic, come and help me change this gear. It cost me almost 200,000 naira to change the gear. And people are like, you can ride this car till the gear finishes. I said, no, I don't like how it feels. Change the gear. Change the gearbox. And I changed it. If you have money, would that be a problem? No, but because other people are thinking in poverty terms. I'm saying, oh, I'm just changing gearbox. What are people who are buying cars of 150 million naira? 250 million naira. So life is in levels. And I hope to get to that stage. Do you understand? Where I buy cars worth like that. I was watching someone. You see, and one thing, let me tell you, in the age of the internet, I'm just sharing with you principles that will help you even outside of my topic. One way to know what attracts you is, what kind of videos do you have on your phone? What kind of videos do you have? And you should have videos on your phone, or have the right videos. I can bet you, check my phone right now, you'll see, I use 3 phones. You could see, I'm not saying it to brag or something, I am with 2. One is somewhere. But you know the reason why I actually use 3 phones? Because I think I need a lot of space. There are things that over time I don't want to delete them, and I want them kept. So I probably started one phone, bought the other one. Some people say dash me or sell it. No, it's my phone. Leave it for me. Do you understand? Because there are things inside I don't want to lose. So I keep them. And then at different stages, all of them have their uses. Because all of them I know their advantages. You understand? So, but the kind of videos you have, because YouTube is the best university at the moment.
Yes.
YouTube is a university. There's nothing you're looking for that you won't find on YouTube. That's not saying you should not attend physical meetings, meet people, because it's good to meet people in your community, doing the kind of things you want to do. Because there are things that somebody out there cannot reinforce in you. You need to meet people around you. But most importantly, in fact, to meet high caliber people, by the time you open your mouth and you're talking in that field, that's when somebody will feel encouraged to want to mentor you or want to draw close to you, because he knows the way you are speaking, you have a head start in that field. Because there are people who just come and start asking you very basic questions and you feel like this person is too far. Where will I start with him? Do you understand? So the best place for that person to start is go and learn on your own before you come and ask the person who has gone ahead. So that what he's reinforcing is just trying to guide you, but not trying to teach the whole process. So that people will just weary you. They just want you to teach them the whole process. It's not possible. It didn't take him 1 year to learn the whole process, and you want him to teach the whole process. Will he not be learning to move forward? And be wise when you're asking people who you think they're up there for their time, and it looks like you don't have time. Utilize the little you have. Don't try to worry them, because sometimes people even find fault. Oh, this person, you think he has arrived, he doesn't have my time. No. As you're looking up to him, he's also looking up to others. Life is a journey. Do you understand? As you're looking up to Oyedepo, look at Oyedepo looking up to Kobla. Do you understand? So life is a race. So don't think that, because you're asking somebody and he doesn't. And that's why I said, in sessions like this, take your time. Utilize the opportunity. And when you see great people, sometimes great people come into this town and people just sit in their houses and don't even show up. Go for meetings. Read books. Don't see the money you use to buy books as expensive. Like 3 weeks ago, I went to Zaria. And I was still shocked at the books I still have in Zaria. I left Zaria like 6-7 years ago. But I'm still shocked at the books I brought like 150. I stocked them in my boot and brought 150. But I can assure you that they're still up to like 300. Not that I did not pick, when I was coming to Abuja, I picked the ones I felt I needed. Because in my house right now, apart from, in fact, the ones I brought from Zaria, they're just tucked up somewhere in the corner of my house. I've not even put them on the shelf. But on my shelf, there are probably up to 400 books. If you go to my family house in Kaduna, you'll find up to 200 books. My own books. That I've not even had time to bring them. I'm talking of physical books, not e-books. My e-book library probably has up to 20 or 30,000 books. Yes. So when you see people who are up there, you don't think they arrive there in one day. It's an investment. It's a process. And if you want to get there, please learn to follow the process. You know, the problem is that we go to school, we hurry for lectures, we want to end certificate, we go for the lectures, and then probably you go for lectures maybe 6 hours a day, and then you take another 4 or 6 hours studying, and you do that on the weekend. So at the end of the day, probably 60 or 70% of your learning time in school was done by yourself. You were reading. But when we come to life itself, we don't put in that same effort. Why? Because we've been taught to believe that life is all about certificates. So they let us believe that, have the certificate, go and look for a good job, do a job for 35 years, come and retire. That's the template, that's the blueprint. And so we keep following that template. And then it affects our psyche. We will not realize that, see, if only, in fact, let me challenge you. Note the time you used to study when you were in school. Try to study like that every day for just half of the time. In the next 1 year, look for me and share with me your testimony of success. Do you understand? Even those days, you used to go to class and study for 3 hours every day and come back. How many of us have been through school? We graduated. Okay. Just is a challenge I'm giving you. If I just do it for 3 months, 90-day challenge. And then after those 90, and ensure you read every day. Just try to read every day, even if it is an hour. And then after 90 days, come back and share how your life has changed. Because when we get out of school, we are busy running after money. Abi, all the job we are doing, this is not money we are looking for. No, now let's be realistic. This hall is quiet. Is it not money you are looking for? Yeah. And you see, true wealth doesn't come when you are chasing money. True wealth comes when you have built up yourself to become a store of value. So as you're solving problems, money is coming to you. So because if you live by the template of trading your certificate for money, you will never rise out of poverty. It's not a course, it's a law. Do you understand? It's not a course, it's a law. Dangote has 69 streams of income. 69. Write it somewhere. 69 streams of income. How many do you have? Many of us has just one. And if the one cuts off, we have a problem. During the pandemic, I didn't have a job. My businesses were dependent on the pandemic. Do you understand? But I think for like 10 months, I lived on my savings. For like 10 months. And there was no issue anyway. How far can you go if your stream of income cuts to it? That's one of the signs of wealth. It is said that you should be able to go at least 3 months. But I'm just giving you an example. 10 months, everything was cut. Business was shut down. No job. But for 10 months, my father never knew. On my wife's side, nobody knew. In fact, we were sending money to people. Do you understand? So, I'm just giving you indices to understand that beyond all this amen and hallelujah we do in church, there are principles to these things. You understand? And God is the one that institutes these principles. But because we found a way to demonize money, we have made it look as though it's not godly to put forth these principles. Why is it that the richest people in the Bible were mostly into agriculture, either animal-wise or plant-wise? If you check, agriculture is a good store of wealth. Yeah, good store of wealth. It's almost practically difficult to see a farmer that is broke, except a farmer who is not consistent. Yeah, because you always have seed or harvest at one point or the other. Yes, if it is dry season, a farmer has the crops to sell. If it's rainy season, he has the crop fresh on the farm. You understand? So, God made this thing like that. And then if you decide not to be core into agriculture, you must learn to build your life where you have stores of value in businesses and investment. You talk about building a business. It's not about starting a business. There's nothing wrong in investing into a business. So that you rise. Some of these people that's why you see a lot of these tech companies have co-founders. Because you must not necessarily start it to be part of it or to enjoy in the success. So be clear about what problem you're trying to solve. Be very clear about the problem you're trying to solve. Like the guys that I told you won $250,000. What was the problem they were trying to solve? They were trying to solve the problem of animal health in Nigeria. So you have the farmers, they keep all manner of animals. There's no way to track disease. So you'll be able to know if this animal, this herd of cattle have any disease and they are moving up and down. They may be infecting, spreading disease, and then as a vet I can tell you what you call, Jim will be able to know if you're science to a zoonosis. So of these diseases, like, okay, right now we're having high incidence of cholera. And even the COVID-19, from research, it is said that it was actually here because the COVID virus, because many people are just hearing COVID now. COVID is a virus that has existed. In fact, it was discovered like 1920 something. That's when the COVID virus was discovered. So it's not a new virus. It's just that this is the first time we've had an epidemic, of global proportion from it. And if you study it, I remember we studied it in diseases, that's viral diseases. It affects mostly animals. So the question now, that's why you have the theory of probably China wanted to get back at the US, they altered it, and then it's affecting human beings. So it's very possible actually to alter some of these things. Just change the genetic code, the genome, it can affect human beings. So, and then sometimes just temperature alone, cows are moving up and down, they are diseased. The temperature, if it's high, can change the virus. And then the full animal starts reacting. He infects his family. The family infects the neighbor. Before you know, an epidemic starts. So they created an app that will be able to help track diseases and report the disease. So that farmers can either send SMS, those that have smartphones can actually connect to them or send SMS. Oh, this is how my cattle are doing. Then they teach them cost-effective ways of, if you touch the cattle, one part of the cattle, if the body is hot, it tells you it's sick. Send an SMS to this number. Practically everybody now has phone, even if it's touchlight. Oh, just type 112 on your phone, send to this number, they will call you. Do you understand? So that's cost-effective ways of solving a problem. A clear problem that even a layman can do. And then in every of those communities, they go and get one or two educated ones who at least can read and write and tell them when there's a problem, meet this person. This person will direct you on how to report this problem. You understand? So and that's why the Igbo people saw that, yes, this is a very important solution and creatively done. They were clear about the problem they are solving. And they won the prize. So be clear about what problem you want to solve. That's point number one. Then secondly, for whatever problem you are solving, there should be enough people that have that problem. Or there should be enough people that you are solving the problem for. So if you are solving a problem and there are not enough people, people will not be excited to invest in it. If, for example, right now, you are trying to solve problems of combating polio in Nigeria, I bet it will sell. It's not a problem Nigeria is dealing with right now. Polio has been eradicated technically in Nigeria. So if you have a problem, if you have a solution and it's for polio, maybe not even tuberculosis, it has been relegated. At the time it was a problem. Maybe not even leprosy. You understand? So there should be enough people that have that problem that it can be solved for. Because in livestock, for example, why that problem was very significant is that Nigeria is one of the highest producers of livestock in the world. In Africa, practically the largest. Even if we are not doing the conventional type of farming, we have a lot of livestock. And so it's important you solve problems in that area. So your problem should be able to, your solution should be able to address problems for a lot of people. Very important. Thirdly, find creative ways to solve that problem. What do I mean by creative ways? Don't just solve the problem manually. Find a way to scale to solve that problem. You see, I was giving you the example of Jeff Bezos. He found creative ways to sell to people over the internet, large amounts of people. And you see, those guys, COVID actually helped them. Because with COVID, people cannot move. People could not even go to buy stuff in stores. So a lot of online sales. Even Elon Musk became a billionaire, a multi-billionaire during the COVID period. COVID actually made him to actually gain that relevance. So find creative ways to solve. Apply creativity. I was watching one documentary and I saw how one guy solved the problem of open defecation by actually creating. There's a way he created somewhere where you just build stuff, and then when you go there, when you defecate, there's like a suction that just sucks the thing and take it into a pipe. It looks like a normal toilet, but in a place where you don't have a normal sock away. But there's a way he created the suction, and the thing sucks the whole thing. So when you go to areas whereby there is no formal toilets and stuff, it's a solution. It's a solution. And you find out that open defecation is one of the problems that Nigeria is facing with. Because it causes a lot of diseases. People defecate anywhere, you urinate anywhere. We don't know how breeze will blow. And that's why you just find somebody. I just myself, and then all of a sudden I have fever. Sometimes it's all of these things that happen. So, and people don't know. And then the fourth thing, be good at financial analysis and projection. Try to be good. If you cannot be good, look for somebody who is good. Sometimes there are people who do not naturally don't love maths, true or false. But if you don't love it, find somebody who does. But understand the basics. Like I tell people, see, even if you don't love mathematics, try and pass it at O level. After that one, you can choose to do courses that don't involve maths, right? But if you must be in business, you must understand simple financial projections. People will just dupe you. You won't understand numbers. You must understand numbers to a little extent to be able to understand numbers. Because it's important.